Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
This is why, of course, she's on The View and not working for the most powerful man in the world, because Karoline would wipe the floor with you bitter banshees any day.
Joe Biden knows how to do this.
Yes.
He knows how to do this. He's quite good at this. And you know, you can't refute anything with him because he just, when I say him, I mean...
He rambles.
Trump.
Yeah.
He tends to just...
But can I mention one thing?
A few days ago, we showed you the heated exchange between the new White House press secretary, Karoline Leavitt, and Whoopi Goldberg. But due to time constraints, we couldn't share the full details of their confrontation, or the shocking reactions. That followed. Well, that's about to change. Stick around because what you're about to see is truly unbelievable. And hey, if you don't want to miss more must-see moments like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.
I too am a working mom and always have been. I've been a professional woman since I graduated from college or law school. But now there's, I think, a good thing, which is like the restoration of valuing so-called traditional moms, and that's great. The women who take care of their kids full time. Most of my best friends are doing exactly that. But it seems like in the right, there's like a bit of a shift toward like, you can't do what Karoline's doing. That's actually like an unsafe or a dangerous or a bad choice for families, for children, which I reject wholesale, but you hear it more and more.
Yeah.
Do you hear that, and what do you think of it?
Away, the usual outrage machine kicked into high gear, doing what it does best, losing its mind. Instead of debating Karoline Leavitt on the facts, they went straight for personal attacks, proving once again that nothing is off limits. Not her arguments, not her character, and definitely not her family. So what was their grand response? After Leavitt took Whoopi Goldberg to task on national TV, did they challenge her points, question her professionalism? Nope. Instead, they went straight back to the 1950s and asked why a mother of a 7-month-old was even working. That's right. The same crowd that constantly preaches women can do it all suddenly hit the brakes and decided this particular working mom had stepped out of bounds. Apparently, if you embarrass a daytime talk show host, you're supposed to hang up your career, stay home, and reflect on your life choices. Hypocrisy? Off the charts. Self-awareness?
I would reject that it's a bad choice. Is it a tough choice? Absolutely. You know, as a mother, you want to be with your child 24/7. You have that maternal instinct.
27.
Yeah. Not all the time. Well, right now, yes, because he's 7 months and just squishy and lovable, but I'm sure that will change. But you know, you do have that maternal instinct, but also recognizing, like, I'm doing this work for my son and for all children to make this country better, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Honestly, Karoline is bringing up some valid points, and it's hard to understand why anyone would attack a hardworking mom just for doing her job. Let's hear what she has to say next.
Also it's temporary, right? In 4 years, my son will be 4 years old and the president will no longer be at the White House, and then I'll move on and do something else. But, you know, this chaos of 24/7 work is a temporary matter. And that's what at least I tell myself to get through these very long and hard days. But I would reject that you can't be a good mom and be good at your job. I think you can do both. It certainly it's not for everybody. And it takes a lot of work and will and faith and prayer. And it's hard, but it can be done. And, you know, I would reject that.
And just like that, Karoline Leavitt shuts down the outrage with ease, cutting through the noise like it's nothing. She lays out what should be common sense. Yes, women can balance a career and motherhood without sacrificing one for the other. Shocking, right? Someone alert the think tanks. But here's where she really shakes things up. She unapologetically stands by traditional values, admitting that balancing work and parenting isn't easy, and that not every woman wants or is able to do both. Imagine that. A woman daring to say her lifestyle isn't a one-size-fits-all formula. Unlike the "you must have it all or you failed" mindset pushed by the left, Leavitt presents a more realistic perspective. She also makes an important point. Women who choose full-time motherhood deserve just as much respect as those climbing the corporate ladder. Because believe it or not, raising the next generation is just as important as any career move. In the end, Leavitt doesn't just win the argument, she exposes the left's so-called empowerment for what it really is: selective and performative. But if you thought the outrage machine couldn't sink any lower, just wait. The next move? Pure conspiracy-level nonsense.
I mean, I gotta ask you, because they said it, are you aware of any plots from Elon Musk to push President Trump down the stairs?
Absolutely not. Let me be unequivocally clear about that. And watching this clip, I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years. They likened President Trump to Hitler. They have mocked him. They have shamed him. They have lied about him consistently on their show. And it was a joy to watch them on November the 6th when they realized that tens of millions of Americans do not listen to the lies that they have spewed. These women are completely out of touch with reality.
Yes, you heard that right. The same people who claim to be the champions of facts, evidence, and logic have officially ditched their Science Matters signs for full-blown tinfoil hats. They've sunk to the level of conspiracy theorists you'd expect to see ranting on a street corner with a cardboard sign. And their latest wild theory? Brace yourself, because this one is truly something else. Apparently, Elon Musk, the guy busy launching rockets and transforming global industries, has secretly masterminded a plot to take down Donald Trump by pushing him down the stairs. Yes, really. Because nothing screams billionaire master, plan like a bad soap opera stunt. And leading this absurd charge? None other than The View's finest, the daytime talk show hosts who seem to believe their coffee table chats double as congressional hearings. Why? Because Karoline Leavitt dared to challenge their queen bee, and now they're out for revenge. But since they can't go after Leavitt directly, they've set their sights on the next best targets. Her boss, Donald Trump, and his ally, Elon Musk. It's like watching satire unfold in real time. But if they thought Leavitt would just sit back and take it, they were dead wrong. She fired back with a few choice words that didn't just shut down the nonsense. They left the conspiracy crowd scrambling to cook up their next half-baked theory.
A lot of women are preparing themselves for the impact of the incoming administration, which has led to this growing mantra from male right-wing incels. Your body, my choice. Say that to my face.
Never one to back down. At least, not completely. Whoopi Goldberg mustered what little nerve she had left for another shot at Karoline Leavitt. But, of course, it wasn't a direct challenge. Even Goldberg knows the kind. A verbal takedown that awaits anyone reckless enough to go head-to-head with Leavitt. So, instead of confronting her directly, she took the coward's way out, shifting her aim toward Donald Trump. And that's when she did the unthinkable. Right there on national television, after saying Trump's name, Goldberg spat. Yes, spat. As if she were some cartoon villain reeling from defeat. Classy, right? Because nothing screams thoughtful political debate like resorting to childish antics. Leavitt, of course, wasn't about to let that slide. She fired back with the precision of a surgeon and the impact of a freight train. This is what passes for debate now? She scoffed. When you can't win on facts, you resort to playground behavior. She pointed out the sheer absurdity of someone being so triggered by Trump's name that they start spitting like a toddler refusing to eat their vegetables. Embarrassing doesn't even begin to cover it. No wonder daytime TV ratings are in free fall. And she didn't stop there. Leavitt called out the glaring hypocrisy. These are the same people constantly preaching about civility and respect, yet here they are turning ABC into a low-budget slapstick routine. By the time Leavitt was done, Goldberg's bold move looked less like a statement and more like sheer desperation. The internet, of course, noticed. Within minutes, memes flooded in faster than The View's producers could cut to commercial. Support for Leavitt poured in, with one user commenting, "These women are going to have to hide at some point. I wouldn't feel comfortable walking down the street if I were them." Others called out the blatant disrespect with one post, reading, "She literally spat in the face of Trump supporters. That's half the country." Some even speculated that Whoopi's outburst was nothing more than a cheap stunt to boost ratings, with one person writing, "I'm convinced they pay her extra to act foolish." One thing's for sure, if Goldberg thought this stunt would earn her applause, she seriously miscalculated.
You must have really wrestled with how you were going to meet the high bar set by Corinne Jean-Pierre. Was that... Sorry. Was that out loud? No, she was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
How is your approach different, would you say?
I think it's vastly different. And if you ask people, even in the legacy media, even the Trump haters, they will tell you the approach has been much different. Not just from me, but
They
the
admit that to
entire
you.
White House. Oh, absolutely. They come in my office every day and they'll admit that off the record.
Oh.
Maybe not on the record, but they will say they appreciate the access and the transparency and the preparation that goes into my briefings and everybody on our team.
I'll admit, I might be going off track here, but did Karoline Leavitt just expose the legacy media? And Trump haters in one swift move? Because this part is pure gold. Think about it. These are the same people who have attacked Leavitt at every opportunity, questioning her credentials, mom-shaming her, and treating her like their personal punching bag. The woke journalists have practically made dragging her a side gig. If she so much as breathes the wrong way, an op-ed pops up within the hour. But here's where it gets really interesting. Off camera, when the outrage is turned off and the blue check bravado fades, these same critics are reportedly sneaking into Leavitt's office to thank her. Yes, you heard that right. Privately, they're shaking her hand and expressing gratitude for giving them the media access they couldn't get under Biden's press team. So, let's get this straight. Publicly, they smear her as some right-wing villain. Privately, they're all smiles, handshakes, and quiet. Hey, thanks for actually doing your job. You literally can't make this stuff up. But should anyone be surprised? Hypocrisy has practically become a job requirement on the left. She so much as breathes the wrong way, an op-ed pops up within the hour. But here's where it gets really interesting. Off camera, and it's not just The View, it's the entire media ecosystem. They pretend to be fighting the big bad dragon while secretly feeding it scraps under the table. And Leavitt, she's just standing there, seat in hand, watching the whole charade collapse in real time.